in this edition of the Mike On Podcast.
John Show Okimbaloye as he interacts with award-winning Nigerian singer Two-Face Idibia, actor and comedian Frank Donga, lawyer and executive director of Yaga Africa Samson Itodo on Mike On Podcast, the 60% of all series. Follow us live on our social media handles now. Stay tuned.
The youth and the young people are very important, and the elections are critical. Things are actually critical. So for any person in Nigeria who is seeing that too bad, and whatever you can do with your votes in 2023 lies in your permanent voter cards. So if you would like to join into the conversation, please feel free to do that, because we're live on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course you can call in, and the numbers are scrolling right there on your screen. But if you are on Twitter and you want to know the number in which you can call in from, you are also you can also signify for if you want to speak on Twitter Spaces. But well, this is not going to be about me talking all through this conversation. It's about the young people talking. It's going to be very interactive. Let me introduce to you my guest on the podcast tonight, the executive director of Yaga Africa, a lawyer and rights activist, Mr. Samson Itodo, who joins us right in the podcast studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Itodo, for joining us. I have one of Nigeria's undoubtedly foremost respected, some people will call him a living legend in the Nigerian music sector. He's in the forefront of campaigning for a non-violent election and free and fair election. Joining me on the podcast, I wish I could ring a bell for him, Two-Face Idibia. It's good to see you, Mr. Innocent Idibia.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Great. And also Frank Donga joins us, an actor and comedian. Frank Donga, thank you so much for joining us.
Frank Donga.
My pleasure. Thank you. Too, Baba. I greet you. I greet you all in the studio. Thank you, Shion.
But let me come back to Samson quickly. Samson, where do we go from here? Because we've basically just established the fact that this election is important. The Nigerian youth are important, but we identified, Tubaba said something. Youth are trying. Tubaba, you're saying something?
No, you're saying important. So I say even as the important.
Tubaba, now serious matter with this. No bring Nyash come this place.
So, I mean, where do we go from here? The fact that Two-Face said people stay at home on social media on election day. What more can we do to encourage people to go out, especially young people, on election day?
Well, see, the points Tubaba and Frank made is quite important. But, you know, I saw Frank's... and Frank, thanks for that video. Now that you have become God that is flogging people, I hope, please flog INEC to produce people's PVCs. Because I think they need some form of flogging, because people are showing up at collection centers and they are not getting their PVC. So maybe 2 strokes or 3 strokes might help some of those INEC officials, including the ones where they sell people's PVCs, or those ones who are asking people to pay before they collect their PVCs. Well, INEC said they are investigating this matter.
I just hope that is not true, though.
No, it's true. Why will you say it's not true? This thing happened.
No, I said I hope it's not true, because
it's true, because it happened
dangerous.
Just last weekend. It happened, you know, right before me, and I saw that happen. So when citizens, yes, there may be fake news some way, somehow, but you just see this system just has a way of making it difficult for the ordinary Nigerian. I don't know if we are cursed. I don't know what's the problem. That a simple exercise like PVC collection, you will see INEC officials and people taxing people 1,000, 2,000 naira to collect their PVCs, as if they are not Nigerians. So we just have a way. Sometimes we complain so much about government, but we are even the problem to ourselves. So what more can we do? I think that the point as to whether this election is important, it's not the debate, right? The big issue is how many human beings will show up on February 25th to cast their vote. That's the most important thing. And there are several things that we can do to get people out. But first things first, you know, this PVC issue, people need to collect their PVCs, because if you don't have your PVC, there's no way you are going to vote. The second, people out there, particularly young people, think their votes is not counted. And Tubaba makes the point. And, you know, we've done youth vote count concerts with Tubaba, and also we vote not fight. And you hear people tell you, you know, their votes don't count. Votes were not counting before. But today, in today's Nigeria, votes are counting. In this country, just 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, people will be on the queue to cast their vote. For those who remember, right?
Yeah.
INEC will announce results when people are still voting. In this country, just 10 years ago, or about 10 to 15 years ago, let's not forget that in this country, that thing happened. In this country, 15 years ago, we had Michael Jackson and Mike Tyson on our voters register. In fact, it got to a point, a plate of rice was on our voters register.
Wow.
In this same country. But just look at where we are today. You know, we need to also tell young people that, see, we've been on this long journey. Things were not the way they used to be before. If your votes were not counting before, now the votes are counting. And if the votes do not count, it's because you stayed away from voting and you didn't show up on election day and stay there to watch your vote. Because the message now is, yes, come out. But if you come out, shine your eyes. Don't leave the polling unit. Look at this BVAS that was introduced. Yes, some people say BVAS needs data, it needs internet to function. It's a lie. The only time it needs internet to function is when? During the transmission of results. So this BVAS innovative technology, it helps with electronic accreditation. And so what BVAS does, it prevents multiple voting, it prevents voting by proxy. Yeah. And then this electronic transmission of results, you know what Nigerians also feel, particularly young people, is we need to follow the trends. Now, for every election, as soon as polling units results are announced, INEC officials are required to take pictures of that result and put it online. And you can create an account and you can access the polling unit level results. So it makes it difficult for people who want to rig elections at the ward level. So these are things Nigerians need, particularly young people need to know. We are on social media, but there is an online platform for publication of results. So from now, go and start creating accounts on those on the INEC website for results, so that once results are uploaded, you can see. This is a kind of vigilance to make our votes count.
I actually want to hear people's experiences in relation to these permanent voter cards. I'm hearing a lot of stories, but it will be interesting. If you cannot join on Twitter Spaces, if you cannot request to join, you can call this line and you can talk to me directly, and we'll be able to hear you here. And let's let the world know what exactly is going on. You can call on +234 92 920 0132. +234 92 920 013. +234 92 920 013. So if you call, we'll be able to hear your view. Let me go back to Tubaba. What can we do? Because we can't just these problems, like you always say, that you don't take away Rapadon Day somewhere. What can we do going forward, Tubaba? I'm not sure you're tired of campaigning for votes not filed, but the question is, there is another campaign that we need to take forward. Is that people need to now take their lives their destiny into their hands and take action by getting out on election day. What can we do?
Yeah, man. It's very straightforward. Participate. Even if it means joining a party, participate, be engaged. I know it sounded like a joke when I said even Nyash is important, but to put it in a very, very plain and simple form, it's like everybody from the north to Hausa to Igbo to Idoma to any language, complexion, height, weight, whatever. Everybody is important. Everybody that is eligible to vote. That's what that statement simply means.
Let's listen to this. We went out and we're trying to also gauge the minds and opinion of people on this election and how the place of young people in Nigeria. I'd like you to watch this and take a listen to this report.
No doubt, elections are one of the most effective ways of increasing participation in governance, representation, and uniting diverse groups, especially when the process is free and fair.
What are we expecting? What kind of leaders do you intend to vote for?
A leader who will elevate us from our poverty state.
People are dying because of hunger.
2019, I come out to vote. The whole Caro local government then cancel our election. I don't know why. But this time around, I don't want it to happen again.
Considering the huge percentage of youth population in Nigeria, how much of those numbers count when deciding the fate of the nation?
I think for every young person watching this, you should realize that we are all victims of a failing system. And the only way to fix this system is by electing leaders who understand the issues and have solutions to these issues.
Nigeria's population is estimated at over 200 million. The youth account for 70% of that figure, which comes to about 150 million youths. INEC recently released data on voter registration showing that out of over 12 million new registrations, over 70% are youths. But do these youth figures count during elections?
Sometimes we want to believe that our vote don't really count. But this time, I want to believe that when I vote, my vote will count.
We cannot keep making references to democracies in other parts of the world where we cannot build our democracy at home. But democracy is a product of the dedication of a critical mass who are willing to make the system work.
The 2023 election is very critical for Nigeria's future. But will the youth be counted in how that future is shaped?
Our vote must count!
It has come to the point where when you are going out on election day, you have to be knocking at people's houses and say, "Oh yeah, Samson, come out, let's go to, come out, yeah. Stop watching movies," because I wish that they can shut down anything that is entertainment on that day. Let people go out. This is serious. I don't know, maybe I'm just being emotional about this election, but you heard, the experience of Malade, you heard the experience of Folashade, and I think it's also several years of people think, oh, they should be the one in politics. Let us just live our lives here. People don't know how much of impact those people who are in politics are having on their own lives. Too, Baba.
Well, so many experiences, so many nasty ones over the years. I've been on this voter awareness campaign for quite some time now. My Vote Not Fight campaign that I've been on for since 2014. For me, we're just going to be repeating ourselves. We need to participate. Understand? People turn 18 every year. So fresh voter, old voter, participate. It's frustrating. And
I can imagine how you feel too, Baba.
We feel your pain.
Yeah.
We are also in pain too.
It's more painful for someone like Tubaba, who are some of pioneers in their own genre of music in the country, and you feel that you have carried a burden over the years, and you think that things should have moved faster than it is right now.
You see, so let's we talk about what else do we need to do, and I think Frank makes that point. See, the rule in life is nothing good comes easy, and I think we need to we need to tell Nigerians, and particularly young people, nothing good comes easy. No country in the world that we aspire to be like. They didn't just wake up one day and then boom, America is where it is, China is where it is. No. It takes a lot. Even to Baba, if we ask him now, all those his hits, let's ask him, like the song Africa Queen.
Yeah.
Let him tell us the amount of work he put into before that song, came out, before he released it, before it became a global anthem. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And you have to sacrifice it. Like Frank said, it takes doggedness. This system, the way it is structured, is structured to not function. So limit your expectations, right? Limit your expectations. And when you limit your expectations, what you now do is to show up. Show up and get things to work. You know one thing, I think it was a few weeks ago, and I think I saw this on social media, where I think was it Dirty December, one of these concerts, this Burna Boy concert, where Burna Boy showed up. I think he showed up late, even though he explained, with the reasons why. But I saw people tweeting that they were there from 9 p.m. till about 2 or 3 a.m. before Burna Boy showed up. If people can wait for these stars of ours, who just give them entertainment and joy, what about waiting at the polling unit, showing up to vote for people who determine the air that you breathe, the clothes that you wear, the food that you eat, as in they determine everything. Politics determines everything. And this ASU strike that students were that just ended, think about it. It was who makes the decision at the end of the day?
The politicians.
They are politicians. And so how these politicians come to power is important. So don't just sit back and say, oh no, if you look through this recent history, you would see places where citizens rose and they spoke and they participated and government
affected their own wish.
Changes. So let's do that through the ballot.
In 1 minute each to my guests so that we can wrap up. Frank Donga, your final word.
But just in 10 seconds, I think the solution is just to talk about it. Online, there's enough drive and publicity. We're talking about get your PVC already, and I think the buzz is very healthy online, but we need to convert that to offline. People, every day when you meet somebody, ask them, the same way people were concerned during Ebola and during COVID-19. They are, Oga, you dey sneeze, you dey cough, you don't wash your hands. Just that, looking out for each other, that attitude should be carried forward. Do you have a PVC? Not only vote for me or vote for my candidate, do you have a PVC? People should, and then people have challenges, encourage one another, because at this point, that's the only way forward. I think the almost 70% of the population of Nigeria who are youths, we are talking about the youth matter, we've concluded youth matter a lot. But because you have the key doesn't mean the door will open. You have to take action.
Thank you so much. Tubaba, your final word. What will be your final thoughts to our viewers tonight?
Yeah, for me, I think, Nigerians should stop being naive. Nigerians should understand that for this country to become what it has the potential to be, we need to, from inside the roots, So I think we should start participating, start paying attention, know your constituency, know the people that are representing you, and let's just look, we just behave ourselves. Understand?
Now so Samson, your final thought.
Well, Tubaba says it be like say they want to tell us another story again, they actually are telling us another story this time, and now we have to stop them from telling us these stories. We need to shine our eyes so we don't make the kind of mistakes we made before that landed us here. And the only way to do that, please collect your PVC. And Frank since Frank is now a demigod and he flogs people, we hope he will flog INEC to produce people's PVCs, and we've received the commitment from him. So when he flogs them, we expect your PVCs will be there. But I think on a more serious note, let's get ready and show up. Only people who show up determine the outcome of elections. Let's stop this trend where the minority of us determine for the majority of us. It is unacceptable, and we shouldn't in any way, as a generation, particularly young people, you know, adopt this approach.
Thank you so much. All right.
Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, guys. Tubaba, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for lending your voice to this campaign.
I hope Tubaba and Frank, they are voting.
I hope so too. Tubaba, Frank, you have your PVC.
Of course.
Okay.
I get my PVC.
Thank you so much, Tubaba. Thank you so much, Frank Donga. Very excellent views and thoughts tonight. Something always a pleasure having you talk about
pleasure
this.
is mine.
Well, the mic is on. You have your voice, and we are here to hear it and let the world know what your thoughts and your views are. And that is why this is the platform for the young people in Nigeria. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you next week at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Mike On Podcast with Shayon Okimbaloi. Mike On Podcast for the independent mind.